Try to give us a good DvarTorah.
So on Wednesday, I went to Coffee Bean to meet a couple of guys to learn, and there's a new guy sitting there, and he's laughing with Jeff Astroff, and Jeff had invited this guy who just came from Australia a couple of days ago, and he said, meet us at the Coffee Bean on Smithwood. And the guy goes to Google, he looks up the Coffee Bean, and he goes to Google Earth to make sure it's the right location, and there's a photo of him and Jeff Astroff sitting in Coffee Bean like 6 months ago on Google Earth. So the guy had said to David Sachs was the one giving the class, and he says, I'm not a believer, and I'm not really religious. And David, this was like a magic moment for him. He's like, well, let's talk about this. And it was like 20 minutes of nonstop. I felt bad. He was kind of getting grilled on recognizing what was happening. So that's one story. And then yesterday at Mincha, one of the topics came up, and Shiluach HaKhan was tossed out, I think, by my brother-in-law, by Shlomo Melmed. And then this morning I sit down with David to learn, and the first topic is Shiluach HaKhan. So that's a little freaky. And where does it work into this week's Parsha? So this is like the fire and brimstone Parsha of all Parshas. It's amazing. It's like the John Wick of Parsha, right? And it says, V'im telchu imi keri, if you will behave casually with me. And it says it over and over, this idea. And Adrian Steinsaltz, he has this idea, which he brings to them, I think, from Rashi, which says that if you look at the world and you don't see God acting in the world, then that's what casually means. And that's just basically saying, for example, when good things happen, you say, I take credit for that. When bad things happen, you want to blame other people for it, and you don't realize all of this stuff is coming from God. And this is like, at least in this week's Parsha, he doesn't just say it once, he keeps going over and over, and this is the worst sin possible, is to forget that God exists. So the reason I told this story is if you have a mindset that says that I'm looking for God, you can find Him. But if you don't have that mindset, and you just treat things casually, then you end up in this world of carry, of just casualness. And the last thing that Rabbi Steinsaltz said, he says that in Kitavo, at the end of Devarim, he says there's this other ailment which says that if you do not serve Hashem, it says, Tachar asher lo avadati el Hashem alecha b'simcha u'b'tuv le'vav. That if you don't serve God with joy and with this goodness of heart, that's almost like this carry thing, which is you just go through the mitzvahs by rote, but you don't have a joy, He's going to come after you. So there's fire and brimstone in the verm too. So let's try to find God in this week. And that's it.